Well, YouTube, it's me again. It's Michael, Vintage Diesel Equipment Service. How's it going, everybody? Well, behind me is not one, but two Ford tractors. So let's start with this one. What we have here today is a Ford 3600. And upon this Ford 3600 sets some fuel stabilizer. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of that. Try to get in there close where y'all can read it. This customer states that this tractor ran great until he put some of that in it and it stored for a short bit. And then when he cranked it and it ran, he said it ran for just a short bit, sputtered, and it died. Then whenever he checked his fuel, it was gelled up. So that don't sound good. So looking around at it, he has already drained the fuel system, which is good news for us. It means we don't have to do it. So what we are going to do is I'm going to slide the battery out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and pull this fuel filter and we're going to have a look. We're going to make sure we don't see anything yucky in it. And as long as it looks okay, I see fuel dripping out of it though. Do y'all see that? There's a little puddle down there too. Alright, so we'll have to check and address that because that fuel's coming from somewhere. I'm assuming it's fuel. Anyway, battery is dead on this thing, so we're gonna wind up having to jump it, you know, let it run for a while. I might throw his battery box on it and let it charge for a little bit and then throw the truck on it, and because we're gonna have to crank on this thing for a while after we fill it up with fuel, because she's empty. That's the fuel it had in it. And let me just say this, I know you can't smell that, but it has a smell, an unpleasant one, a varnish smell, a smell of dead fuel. So needless to say, we're gonna have to prime on this thing for a while, I imagine. But he said that the injector pump had been rebuilt on this thing in the recent past. Now there is a second issue that we will be addressing. He said his PTO turns perfect, but his 3-point does not lift. So we will be investigating why the pump won't work and actually, you know, do PTO or do 3-point things. All right, let me get set up. I see a little bit of chalk writing on this tractor, but we really don't know why. They did replace the gauges. No one documented the hours from the old one. Maybe that's it. I don't know. They didn't write anything down on the filter, so we really don't know where we were. Anyway, let me get set up, get some fuel in it, and start a battery charge, and then I'm going to pull that fuel filter, and we're going to see where we are. Here we go, y'all. Alright folks, so I got that filter off. Let's see if I can get this in an angle. But you can see that. Yeah. Oh, it is extra pleasant in there. See it? Yeah. That's just sitting on top. So pretty bad looking. I think maybe there's just enough fuel left in the jug over there. I'm going to try and just rinse this out. Rinse that little bit of rust off. And because I don't see any in the pleats anywhere where I can see it. Although, man, that's the sludge. Yeah, I see it down there. Let me try to rinse this off and see. Alright folks, I got it cleaned up enough we can work with it, I believe. I am gonna reach in there and just kind of give that a light little. It was double gasketed. I just noticed it. Yep. It sure was. That's why this thing's been leaking. I just noticed it was leaking. Noticed I pointed out on the ground over there that it was leaking on the ground. Well, they epoxied that dude in. Yeah, see that? It's epoxy. So much for being able to drain the water off of it anymore. Alright. No, it wasn't double ringed. Never mind. There's a top and a bottom one. I'm losing my mind, y'all. Give that a light little wipe. Get all that rust off of it. There we go. Now, let's pour it right into our shoe. That's real good. Alright. Now. Alright, guys. I'm going to go over and put this back on. I'm still seeing drips, but I've got the fuel turned off. Maybe that's just leftover. Could it be leftover? Do you think it's leftover, or do you think there's actually a fuel leak somewhere? Comment down below and tell me what you think. Do it now. Don't wait till later. Do it now. Let's all discuss it. Alright. Try and get that up in there. So shoot, I lowered my hood down, but I wasn't for sure I was going to be able to clean that filter up at first. I thought I might have to run to town, which we're way out here in rural North Texas. Out here in the piney woods. And I can assure you, there ain't no parts place nowhere close to where I'm at right now. If I'd have been about half smart, I'd have had me some fuel. But I'll be honest, these dual stage filters are kind of hard. These dual stage filters are kind of hard to hold together. Whilst you once you get it all together and screwed on. So I can't say that trying to hold it all together while you do it's a good idea, if you want my honest opinion. Just know what they say about opinions. Just gonna let that top off now. Now that we've got our fuel situated, what we are going to do next, because we know we've got something going on with our hydraulics, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the pump, or pull the filter. We're gonna have a look. Let's see if we can tell anything, and let's see if we can do this without mangling the filter up too. All right. Yeah. Put a small dent in it, we did. Whew. Well, I don't know, fellas. That filter's bone dry. Has been. Let's see if I can. Let's see. Well, as you can see, it's bone dry and it's got some rust up in the area, which I mean that's to be expected. At least it's not within our elemental circle, you know, so that's a good thing. Off camera I'm putting this O-ring back in. There we go, like that. At least inside the filter I don't see any problems, but I'm suspicious as to whether or not this is pumping. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on, but I'm gonna spin it very loosely, okay? I'm gonna be able to, we're gonna be able to take that off here in a little bit once we finally get our fuel worked out, okay? So what we're gonna do next, once I get this situated, what we're gonna do next, once the battery's ready, we are gonna turn this engine over first until we get fuel coming out from up here, okay? Which we might be okay right now, but we're gonna turn it over anyway. All right, let's see where our battery's at. We're getting closer, but we're not there. We only let it charge on up for a while. In the meantime, let's see if we can turn this without hitting these cables of anything. Whew. All right. Here, I'll take you off the deal here. Let's get up here. See if we can get you into a position where you can get your little look. I ain't convinced that's gonna work. Move my tools and the rag. This junk, got them here. Alright, now let me have a look through my screen. Oh yeah. Alright, so cleaning these pine needles and whatnot out of our way. Good deal. What we got here? What we got here, fellas? We just got us a random cable. Okay. Alright, well, I don't know where it goes right now, so we're just gonna tuck that away and pretend we didn't see that for a moment. How about that? Alright, so I think we need to tighten up our filter over here a little more. Yeah, I can see it over here kind of looking like it's not tight enough. Let me give it the old cinch down. There we go. That's pretty tight. That is pretty tight. Let me get me a nice pipe towel. Right. Blue shop rag. Kind of clean this up. That way I know I got my fuel not leaking out of the filter. Now remember when we started, we were seeing a little bit of a drip. You can see that spot was on the ground down here. It had been wet for some time, it looked like. So we're gonna have to keep that in mind as we progress. Now, the reason why I got you up in this location is this is a 3-cylinder, so each one of your fuel rails for your line is going to have to be cracked open for this process, because as you can figure, it lost its fuel prime and we're going to have to get that back up. So let me get a wrench. Do you grab your wrenches in 3s? I typically do. I typically go above and below the wrenches. I anticipate it being just so I don't have to make additional trips. All right. Okay. All right. We've got our lines loose. I'm going to get rid of a bunch of extra wrenches real fast, just so we don't have to contend with them in a minute. All right, I'm going to have a look and see where this battery's at now. Yep, I think I'm gonna have to pull my pickup up here, but I figured as much. Tell you what, let me get set up to do just that. But at least this box allowed us to get some charge going into the battery first, and it needed it. Okay, that's probably as good a view as I'm ever going to be able to get for you. Alright, let's see if our battery's hot enough to do this. See, we're out of gear. Alright. Woo! Ain't there fellas. We ain't there yet. Boy, these battery cables they're just not tight. Alright. Let me address this one first. Okay, so battery doesn't do the same. So, alright, positive is on this side over here. So you want to make sure that you get to the fluid. And we're showing 2.5 volts. Seven volts. Alright, so here we have 11.86. 11.86. 87. 87, 86. 85. 88. And then my meter went funny. Alright, 1188, 87. I guess we're just going to let it run for a while, see if it builds. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and give this battery another 10 minutes or so and let it just sit here and charge. There's no need to waste your time with that. So, while it charges, we'll be back. Yep. Don't see no cables on there, huh? Come to find out, that battery has two bad cells. This one charged to 11.8. If you was to put it on a big charger and let it keep desulfiding, that cell would probably come around. Maybe these two would eventually. But this one's 7 and this one's like 2 volts. We ain't got no time for that. So we're gonna go over here to this 4600. As you can see, I already have the battery up, or the hood up. Hood's already up. I've already volted. Wow, hear that? Listen. Wait for it. There's an eagle flying. But it's just not going to screech right now. Okay, it's been screeching for the last hour. It's beautiful. Alright. Hear traffic going in the distance. Hopefully it's not too annoying for you folks. Anyway, I've already metered this and it metered a 12.5, so it's a solid battery. I'm going to unbolt it from here. This tractor has much better connections. We'll unbolt them though and put this battery on that tractor. It's heavy. I don't feel like letting y'all see me grunt and all that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it off camera. That sun's probably killing y'all. I'm gonna do it off camera, and once stuff, the other thing, while we've been awaiting, you see how wet all this is. See, I just had that bleeder valve cracked open and I just let gravity do its thing. Eventually it will if you want to wait around without turning the motor over, and then you just tighten it up and you're good there. And if you remember, we've already cracked our fuel rails under this battery. So they're ready to bleed after I get this battery on. Let me get the battery on. All right, folks. So I've got my battery on and situated. Here, let's just give it a quick turn and see if it turns over. Now we just wait for fuel to start coming out our filters. Wait for all that air to stop. Okay. Alright, let me get my camera situated where y'all can kind of see what's going on, I hope. I'm having a hard time seeing. I hope y'all can see. I do. Alright. So what I'm gonna do is reach over the battery, turn the motor. Just like that, she's a runner. Good deal. Alright, we're just gonna let that idle down. We're gonna let it run for a few moments. While I'm at that, I'm gonna go ahead and run the PTO up and down, and we'll just see. Although I don't expect it to right now. And of course, it didn't let me down. Alright, we're going to gently let our filter open. We ain't getting a thing, fellas. Not a thing. Look at that. Nothing. We're going to let that run for a few moments. We're going to check the hydraulic fluid after we shut it off. Make sure we got fluid. I have not tested that yet. And then we'll start seeing what we can do to source our lack of hydraulic pressure. Is it a pump, or do we just have a leak, or a filter stopped up? I don't know. Let's find out. All right, folks, so a couple of observations and a pro tip. For one, some of you have probably just come into inheriting your grandparents or father or whoever's tractor. Maybe you bought one of these, so you don't know where or how to check these things yet. So I'll walk you over it. The transmission, not the hydraulic, the transmission is checked here. Okay, you pull this out and you would check it here. However, see the milkshake, and that's not good. That's not good. This is going to have to be drained, changed, and that gasket for the pump top, or for the shifter top, it's gonna have to be changed, because that's what's leaking. So that, or maybe even these two boots here not being there, could allow that fluid into that. Anyway, so your 3 points not working. You check your filter over there and it's bone dry, as you've seen in the first. So you take this cap off, okay, right there, and you peer down in there. If you can see in there, that dude is bone dry. You can't see anything in there. I bet they didn't know that that's where they're supposed to check. But let me show you another thing. You see, this where you're going to check it, by the way. You're going to need to get this right here out, this plug, okay? As you can see, hasn't anyone done that in quite some time. So let me see if I can find us a wrench that'll fit it. Ain't perfect, but look at that. Now, when I pull this plug right here, hydraulic fluid should pour out of this hole, and if it doesn't, that's probably our problem. We might not have enough hydraulic fluid. Bone dry. All right, let's get some hydraulic fluid. You're gonna fill that up until it comes out of that hole, and then you put your plug back in. So here we go. All right, folks, so we made some headway on this one today, but well, we don't have any fluids and stuff on site, and it is a long way back to town, even though you hear that traffic. So with that said, to be continued. Good morning, folks. It is a beautiful day out here. Yeah, your eyes ain't deceiving you. That's a third Ford. So now we got a 4610 to have a look at after we get our 4600 worked out, after we get our 3600 worked out. So if you remember last time, you know, in the earlier part of this video, but it's last time for me. The last time you and I saw one another, we cleaned out the filter in this unit here. We put fresh fuel in. We primed our fuel injectors. And this little dude sparked back to life, and it ran beautifully. And then we went to the other side over there. I went ahead and just bypassed an additional step of checking for a leak, and I packed grease right up around the primary tube, the inlet, so that if that O-ring had a leak, it would go ahead and pull. And then I took my filter off, and then I cranked the tractor, and it did crank, and it ran, and I could already hear it. I could hear the pump sucking, and I put my hand up there by the inlet. I could feel it sucking, and what I found out was, well, there wasn't any fluid. There wasn't any hydraulic fluid. It is what it is. This one's difficult, so if you're anticipating checking it on that stick right there, again, you're doing it wrong. You are going to have to pull that plug out and do it down there. Don't forget that step, or you're going to have a problem. That said, we got to address this. As you can see, it's a mile over full, and it looks like a chocolate milkshake. If you try to drink that one though, you're going to the hospital. I believe that's going to be caused by, you can see these here boots. Yeah, they're in a bad way and they need replaced. We're going to do just that. First, we got to pop our keeper ring off, pull the spring off. As you can see, this tractor's had a paint job. Yep, sure has. It's had a paint job. But we're going to replace these boots here. After we drain the transmission's fluid, and we'll go ahead and dump whatever might be in the hydraulic case back there too. And just keep in mind, that since that thing was out of fluid, that also means all them gears and everything back there were out of fluid. That ain't good. And that milkshake in the transmission, that's around your clutch. I'm just saying, it can't be good for the clutch. All right. So, new shift boots. So, as you can see, I've got 3. I need 4. We're going to do that one too. Same thing, I bet. Haven't pulled the stick yet, but apparently he said the caps are bad. Okay, so with each one of those caps comes an O-ring, okay? So, cap, O-ring, yeah, you get the picture. All right, I'm gonna get set up and get after it. Alright folks, so as you've seen, I drained that nasty, milky, disgusting mess out, and I've already disassembled the first one. Now let me show you what you're looking at. This here is what's left over. There should, and there is, you can see it, there's an O-ring right there. So you're gonna need to take that O-ring out, that old one, and put your new one in, okay? And then you're gonna slide your new shift boot cover over, okay? And then your spring will go over, and then this clip that you're gonna have to remove, which ain't gonna be easy. Maybe it'll be easier than this one, but as you can see that one over there? I'm gonna put it like this. Somebody has rebuilt this tractor in the blue variety. So it's, yeah, it got painted and it's hard to get off there. But maybe you won't have to go through that. There you go. Oh, that's so much better already. And that's going to be just as much fun to get back on. Alright. Okay, well, guess you saw that in real time. There we go. Alright folks, so there was basically, well, nothing in the diff, maybe a half gallon. So, all right, we've topped it off. You're gonna fill it until it comes out of, well, if I can get my tripod moved, until it comes out of that right there, okay? Till it comes out of that hole, and you'll see it creep down the side. Put your plug in, give it the old tighten. Come back here, put that back on. Hand tight on that is plenty, by the way, y'all. So All right. With that said, I got to top off the antifreeze, and then we're going to be about ready to check this thing. Here, let's just, Customer's already made us a fancy funnel. No need for me to chase one down when they got a fancy one. Let's see how thirsty it is. Here it is, guzzling. There it all goes. Oop. No. Oh, we're full. Yay! Sweet. Okay, put my radiator cap back on. Sure is a nice day out here. A little warm, a little warm. Hard to believe it's this warm in December. Huh. Isn't that? Still won't latch. Oh. Oh, well, that'd be a good reason. It's not there. You can't latch what's not there. Mm-hmm. All right, folks, so I'm gonna take a moment and I'm gonna shoot a cold start video, because the one I did for the Alice, if you hadn't seen it, maybe you should go look at it. It was very popular. So with that said, let's do a cold start and then see if the hydraulics work. All right, a little update for you. Topped off the hydraulic fluid, and well, it goes deeper. So I'm going to try a few diagnostic things, see if we can figure out where it's at, and see. I've got suction at the filter, but I don't have any fluid. So let's see if maybe our air is bypassing somewhere. Works now. We got us a working tractor. How about that? Cool. So, you can see it's clearly down. Up she goes. Sweet. Cool. He has a usable tractor again. Cool deal. Alright folks, that's got this little 3600 all tidied up, and she's running like a champ. She can now lift her own stuff up and move along and actually do tractor things with her little 3-point hitch. Yep. So that's got this one done. So next, for you Ford fans, we'll work on this one. And it's got front end loader problems, and we're gonna change them pesky shift boots again on it too. So folks, with that being said, thanks for watching Vintage Diesel Equipment Service. We're gonna see you in the next video. It's getting warm out here.